Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you various ways you can bridge into Elfnote with different decks. I'll be showing you these bridges and the end board. I'm talking about the disruptions you come up with. Now the first deck we're going to talk about and start with is going to be K9 Elfnote. This is the deck that took me to master rank. It's pretty great. For this deck you need two cards for the combo. You need a Noroi and any of the level 5 K9 cards, either a case for K9, either a yugioh. You need any of these for the full combo. Any level 5 at all, or you need a yugioh and any other level 5, or a yugioh and a case for K9. Basically, you get what I mean. So this is going to end on a pretty good board. For this combo, I'm going to pretend that we do not have any of these other cards in our hand, and this is computer, so some of our effects might not actually proc. Now this entire video might be a little long, but so that's why there is going to be timestamps in the description below and in the comment section as well, to help you guide to whatever you want. So again, we start with the Noroi and then we add the yugioh. Now if you want to play around draw, you don't activate the yugioh's effect, but if you don't care about draw, you activate yugioh's effect. But if you are playing around draw by not activating yugioh's effect, you do play into imperm in that case. If the imperm your Reaper when you don't have Lupis equipped to it, you're pretty much screwed. So I'm going to play into the draw for this end board, and we're going to grab a lantern from our deck to our hand with yugioh's effect. Now we can use these two monsters and go into a Reaper. So now we activate Reaper and we're going to detach from it. Now if you haven't activated yugioh because you were playing around draw, you detach yugioh. I have activated yugioh, so I'm not going to detach yugioh, I will detach Noroi. And now we're going to grab the case from K9 or for K9 from our deck to our hand. We activate the case for K9 and we're going to use it to add a yugioh from our deck to our hand. Don't worry, the other combos are going to be pretty good as well. You activate yugioh, grab one of those level 5s that you had in your hand and you special summon them to the field with yugioh. We had Izuna, so we activate Izuna's effect and send Lupis to the graveyard. Now we can activate the lantern and grab the Noroi from the graveyard and special summon it to the field with the Noroi. And finally we can add the first release that's already in our hand from our deck. I'll just add the case. Then now you can actually look at the opponent's hand with Noroi's ability by sending the case. We actually don't need it anymore now, and see the opponent's hand from here. And finally we can go into our bridge. Granted, you can make a dark chaos angel, but we'll make something better. So now let's go into our bridge with all of this, which is Sayuja Skull Dread. Hopefully we draw into a starter for the Elfnote. So we're going to draw 4 and we can special summon with Sayuja's ability. I'll talk more about that later, but let's see what we draw. We drew into the Elfnote card and we drew a Meteor. So we drew 2 starters basically. We also drew an Imperm, which is pretty crazy. So I'm going to not, again, like I said, use the Lucina. So I'm just going to return all of these other cards. I think we are still pretty good. I won't normal summon the Meteors. You can special summon the Meteors with Sayuja's effect, like I said earlier. You could also special summon level 6, level 7, level 8 monsters with this ability, which is insane, by the way, just letting you know that. So now I think I should use the spell card instead of special summoning Meteors. I think that might be better. Don't worry, I will still special Meteors later. I just want to use Sayuja's ability for this combo. I think that'll be the best thing to do. So instead, I will just use the spell card and we'll keep comboing from here. But I hope you've understood the bridge so far from now. Don't worry, I'm not going to use this card. Don't worry about that. So anyway, we activate the spell card that we drew. And now we can use the spell card's effect and we can throw away Lucina just so I don't be tempted or forget to use it. And we can grab from our deck, we can grab the Regina and put it in the middle zone. Take note about that, it has to be the middle zone for Regina, and Regina's effect activates to special summon from our deck. We are going to grab the Power Patreon card because I am not special summoning Meteors with Sayuja's effect right now. We've already normal summoned. So anyway, we're going to use these 2 on the field and go into the level 7 Seraphim. So we'll put it away from the center zone, leave your center zone free for now, and then Power Patreon is going to add and Regina is going to come back to our hand. Pretty good recursion. So we add back Regina and Power Patreon. I'm sorry if I'm talking a lot. I'm trying to break down everything so you guys can understand me properly. Power Patron can grab the Lucina that we threw away because of course we are pretending it wasn't in our hand, and now we special the Lucina, and Lucina's effect is going to grab from our deck to our hand. I think we should grab the Fortuna. We already have the spell, so we don't really need Tinia, and next turn Regina can bring out Tinia, which is pretty crazy. So I think we just grab Fortuna. I think that's the best thing because we've also used Regina's ability to special summon from the deck. This is our last chance to search. Now we activate Seraphim's effects to bring to the field the Power Patron. Don't change the levels. We can now activate the Power Patron, target level 6, make it 9, go into our Baron the floor. We already had the protection from Nibiru thanks to the Reaper in our third summon, so don't worry about that as well. And now we can special summon Fortuna, and Fortuna can grab to the field the trap card. We're not done yet because now we can use the trap card to bring back from the graveyard. I think we should use that first actually. So I'm going to tribute the Meteors from my hand because I'm not special summoning it. I said I won't use Sayuja's effect, and we'll bring back the Power Patron. Now we use the Power Patron and the Seraphim, and we go into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is a monster negate from anywhere as well. Pretty crazy card. And finally, we can use from the graveyard the Meteors effect. Now normally we would want to have the Meteors card, the Theo, realized in our hand, which is also pretty good to look at the opponent's top deck and stuff, but it's okay to not have that now because Meteors also has the effect of special summoning from the graveyard, so we don't need that. And with Meteors' effect, we can shuffle back either the Izuna, the Regina, or the Sayuja. And I'm thinking I will return the Sayuja and just special summon Meteors. So let's do that right now. We can return the Sayuja. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I need that slot actually, or my zone is going to be a little too crowded. So we return this Sayuja, special summon the Meteors. We are locked into Synchro. We've been locked for a long while, and this is why I said forget the Chaos Angel then with the K9 cards, because we have a Light and Darkness Chaos Angel right here, which is pretty crazy. So this will be your end board. Mainly you do have a lot of disruptions actually, and everything started with 2 cards basically. It was any of the level 5s. We pretended we didn't have the Lucina in our hand, and a Noroi. 7 to 8 disruptions, not counting hand traps, which is pretty crazy right now. So this is the end board you will have normally with just 2 card combo. We're not counting the Izuna or hand traps because you might not always open up with them. If not, Izuna would have special summoned herself and Lupis would have special summoned itself, and then you'd use both of them and go into a Valon to flip your opponent monsters face down, or you could go into a Jax to pop a monster your opponent controls and then use the trap cards to send them to the graveyard to bring out the Seraphim or whatever. You could do all of that, but I'm not going to count that as a disruption because you might not open up with them consistently. So this is not actually your end board. Now we can jump up to the other decks, and again, please guys, don't forget to leave a like. Let's go on to deck number 2. Alright, for the second bridge, I'm gonna be using, wait for it, you can already see it's White Forest. It's White freaking Forest. I love this deck so much. Anyway, we're using White Forest for this, and White Forest is always a 2-card combo. There's some people call it 1.5 card combo, but let's just be honest, it's a 2-card combo deck. So for this, we have a bunch of starters, and we have 1, 2, 3. This is way too many starters. So in ranked, we're definitely getting max seed. Anyway, I'll be showing you using an LZ for this, and we'll be discarding this card. Let's just imagine this as our actual discard, but LZ is one of the best starters you can have for this deck. But I'm wasting too much time, let's jump right into this. I will put the toggle on off, and we're not supposed to have this in our hand. This is a Garnet 1 to the deck, but it's also a good card to have in our hand, a good starter, but it's regardless. Anyway, we're gonna send this to the graveyard, special summon LZ, and grab this, and don't get drilled. Okay, now you normal Sylvie, and Sylvie is actually going to add from our deck to our hand. I don't think we need. I'll grab this one. I'll grab this one. Yeah, I'll grab this. Anyway, there we go. Now we're gonna go into Ryzeal, and Ryzeal will discard the tails. And she will add a Scorch. Ryzeal always adds the Scorch for me, almost always, but as you could see there, Ryzeal could actually add from our deck to our hand, she could grab the Fortuna because she's a light spellcaster, which is pretty great. Anyway, we grab this back and we activate the tails. Sadly, the White Forest version plays a lot into Nibiru because, you know, White Forest is not the main deck. In a way, you're baiting with the White Forest stuffs. Elfnote is kind of like the best version of the deck. But that being said, we go into Diabell here. And we can honestly put Diabell up here. Because we're going to be doing a lot down here. Now, chain 1, LZ Azamina, chain 2, Diabell grabs back our field spell. So you could call this a 1.5 card combo in a way, but I also call it a 2 card combo because you're going to be doing a lot. Now we've had the deception, so we'll grab this deception here, and we need this from the graveyard. So sadly, no light and dark chaos angel here. We activate the deception, and we get rid of Sylvie. Grab the hallowed Azamina. Next, we activate the hallowed, and we bring out the Muricilia by sending deception. And Mu is going to grab from our deck to our hand the original Sinful Spoils or the Vengeance. That's basically what you want. So in this case, I'm going to grab the Vengeance right here because we already have the Wanted. Mu is supposed to add from your deck to your hand the Wanted. Please take note of that. That's what's supposed to add, but we already have the Wanted in hand, so I'm grabbing the Diabell's the Vengeance. Anyway, from the graveyard, Hallowed returns the LZ back to the deck, and we have our Hallowed back in hand. Now we get our negate for Baron that would have probably killed us a long while ago. And then we activate Wanted. This is the main choke point now. This is the main choke point for the bridge, so you do not want this to be negated. Ghost Bell and Ash really spoils this bridge. Grabs Diabellstar because Mu and Diabellstar are the two main bridges in this version, and we can send to the graveyard the Wanted, and there we have our Sylvia. Now Diabell can send this, special summon the Diabell, and we can set the Diabell here. You preferably always with Diabell want to send a card from your hand to the graveyard, not on field, because you do need the Mu in the grave on the field rather, unless you are willing to give up Sylvia. Anyway, this bridge now, original Sinful will send Diabell to the graveyard and bring out your Elfnote card. And congratulations, you've bridged into Elfnote. Now we can activate this, target itself, make it level 4, and go into a Baron. And that is your bridge from White Forest into Elfnote. Most decks can do this. I will show you more examples about decks doing this, but just for me to show the full end board of this, now we're going to actually grab from our deck to our hand the Lucina right here. Activate the Lucina, special summon herself. Use Lucina's effect and grab from our deck to our hand the Regina. Now we can activate the Regina, send the Lucina to the graveyard, special summon herself, and she can bring from the deck Fortuna right here. You need Fortuna for the spell. We already have the spell, but don't worry about that. Activate this. I'm trying to show you one card combo, and then we can activate this, send the Fortuna to the graveyard, and bring back the Power Patreon. Always be careful of the attributes you send. And now we can go into the Seraphim. And Regina adds back to hand. And since we've milled the deck a lot, we can get a free draw with Wanted. The best part is you already have a discard for Diabell with the Deception coming back in the end phase, and original Sinful just goes back, draws a free card, and you can draw into anything. It could be a disruption, it could be whatever. I'm going to set this right now, and now we can activate the Seraphim again. The Seraphim can bring back from the graveyard, this one, gonna change the levels, and now we can have either an Adamantipator or Reason if you have Lucina, or rather Tinia in the graveyard. I keep missing a name up with Testinias. Tinia in the graveyard, or you know, you can go into Crystal Wing right here, which is what we will go into. And Crystal Wing right here will drop it in the middle. Now this is your end board here, 1-card combo or 2-card combo, ignoring that we have the Witch in our hand, and you know, having this in our hand, we drew into this. So basically this is your hand. We started with this Elfnote, Wanted, 1 LZ, Witch, and another Elfnote card. So we literally had all of this was possible with just 1 LZ and a discard. So that's pretty much it. 2-card combo basically gave you all of this. Now you have 7 disruptions right here, at least 7 to 8 disruptions if you include the Regina bringing out a Tinia from the deck that can banish a card from hand. That would be 8 disruptions, not counting any other cards in hand. 8 disruptions, and from the 8 disruptions you have 4 Omni Negates right here. So that's pretty crazy. So this is your bridge. Your second bridge is the Azamina cards bridging into the Diabell cards, into the Elfnote cards. Take note about that. This is your bridge, and let's jump into the third bridge for this deck. Alright, for the third bridge we will be using, yeah, Snake Eyes. Alright, so 1 Ash is full combo. Of course in this deck we have a lot of starters. We have 1 for 1 and a couple other cards, but I'm just gonna stop talking and get into the combo. This hand is amazing, plays into Maxi sadly, and that's the problem with this particular version. It plays a lot into Maxi because of the link climbings you will need to do. So we'll start with a Snake Eye Ash here, and this is going to grab from our deck to our hand the Poplar. Yes, we do play 2 Poplars. In case we started with one of them, we should still have a decent combo. And Poplar is going to special summon itself. Always make sure your toggle is on auto or on when you are adding Poplar, so you don't miss this toggle. And now Poplar is going to add from our deck to our hand the Field Spell. This is going to be our bridge. Of course, there's another route you can go using this that can bridge as well crazily into Elfnote. I will show that after this, so I won't talk about it here, but you'll see the next one. Anyway, now we're going to activate Poplar's effect, or rather the Field Spell effect, and the tempo is going to grab Snake Eyes Diabellster and put it right here. Now we can activate the Snake Eye Ash, send itself and Diabellster to the graveyard, and special summon from the deck Oak. Oak is going to target from the graveyard the Ash and special summon it back on the field. Now we send Snake Eye, Ash and Oak to the graveyard to bring out Flamebridge. This is basic Snake Eyes combo. You activate Flamebridge's effect and you put in the back row the Snake Eyes Diabellster, activate Diabellster's effect and put in the back row the Oak. Will be useful next turn. Now this combo, I should have said it in the beginning, it's a 2-card combo. If you start with the Snake Eye Ash without any disruption, it's a 2-card combo. You need Ash and 1 card for this card. That's all you need for this. And we're going to use all of this right now, and we're going to go into Curious right here. So we use 1, 2, 3, and Curious is going to be the bridge linking our bridge. So Curious is going to send from the deck to the graveyard. Then Flamebridge Chainlink 2 is going to special summon, and Chainlink 3 you're going to activate this, target the Flamebridge and put it in the back row again. Will be useful next turn. Now you special 1 and you special 2. And now Curious will send from the deck to the graveyard a Diabellster. Now it mills some more. That wasn't anything important. Anyway, now you use these 2 and go into Phoenix. And we can activate this, go into the lovely Abao. Now Abao is going to activate, and she's going to discard any card from our hand. Since we only play one Fortuna, that's why I left Fortuna in my hand, and we special summon Duel. And Duel is our bridge, and she grabs from the deck. You can grab the simple spoil spell if you want, but I'm just going to grab Deception. Now you can banish Duel, special summon Dark Magician of Destruction, and he triggers. Grab the Gaze, activate Deception, activate again, send the Dark Magician to the graveyard, grab the Hallowed, activate the Hallowed, and you grab yourself a Mu. Now Mu is going to trigger, and we can grab the original Sinful Spells. That's what we're going to grab here, the original Sinful Spells. So now you can actually use the original Sinful Spells. One sec. Send any of this here to the graveyard, and special summon this. And now we have Seraphim. It's a lot just to bridge, but you understand more with the end board how crazy good this can be, or this is with the final board. Anyway, you grab Lucina, and now you activate this special, the Lucina. Activate Lucina, and you grab from your deck to your hand. Tinia is pretty cool. Activate Seraphim. Seraphim brings back the Power Patron. Do not change levels. Activate the Power Patron, make that level 9, and you have yourself a Baron. Now normally if Fortuna wasn't in our hand, we would have special Tinia. Tinia would have grabbed from the deck to put on the field the Elfnote spell, which would have then tributed her to special summon Regina, and Regina brings out the Fortuna, and Fortuna is going to then activate the trap, and then use the trap to send Fortuna to the graveyard to bring back Power Patron and do all those things again. But we did start with her, so sadly I'm going to have to give up on Tinia setting that, because I do need the negate for the end board. So we're going to special summon this. It's a lot. It's just, I wish we could arrange our hand in solo mode properly, but we can't do that, sadly. So that sucks. Anyway, I will activate this, and then we'll tribute this one, and we can bring out from the graveyard any of this. And now we can go further with both of them. And there you have it. This will be your end board, but one sec, let the stuffs come back. I'm gonna grab this back. Sadly, we did give up on Sylvia. When you are trying to bridge, when we are bridging, we give up on something. In this case, we gave up on Sylvia because I wanted this to be like an actual one card combo. What was our opening hand? We did start with Fortuna, Duel, Snake Eye Ash, Regina, and Power Patron. So we discarded from our hand the Regina rather to special summon, and then we also got rid of we special summoned the Power Patron from our hand with the Sinful Spoil spell card in the graveyard. So we literally had at least 2 breaks in our hand. The Power Patron we didn't want in our hand, the Fortuna we didn't want in our hand, and the Regina we weren't using. So literally this was like a 2-card combo. We just had to use other things. So this is it in the end board, or in the end phase. Abao is going to trigger and come back. That's not all. Deception will trigger and set itself right here. Now, of course, this end board doesn't look that great now, but what we do have is a monster negate with the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. We have an Omni negate with Dragon, which we will special summon now, and then we have a pop with Abao. We have an Omni negate with Baron. We have an Omni negate with the Elfnote trap card, and then we have the Seraphim that can special summon the Lucina to send a monster back, or a Tinia to banish a card from hand. So that's 6 disruptions only with this end board. because we tried to bridge and nothing else in our hand was good, normally your end board will also include a Masquerena if you can. You have a Masquerena here, which will either be a double banish as well, so that's like 8 disruption, or it will also include a Sylvia as well. That makes it 9 disruptions as well. It's pretty crazy. And the best part I like about this is if you do end with a Masquerena, you can easily go into a Mech Knight Crusader Avramax, which will be great against Tempai, or you could go into Fancy Ball, which would be another 2 disruption. Well, yeah, mainly 2 disruptions. I'm gonna make a dragon now, activate that, and we'll get our dragon. And the only thing I dislike about this end board is it does play into Super Poly a lot. I mean, right now we have 2 Super Polies here with the Baron and the Crystal Wing, and then you have Super Poly with the Abao and Dragon. So double Super Poly has cleared your board. You will still have at least 1 with this, and then you have this as well, which is a big body, and this would have been great if you had the Masquerade on the end board. But you know what, it's still, I've explained it before, we were bridging, so bridging is kind of, it just happens. Alright, this is the gimmicky version of the deck, so I'm just going to put this on off, and we start with almost Snake Eye Ash. There's a lot of combo or starters in this version, but you get what I mean when I say it's gimmicky. Okay, so you toggle on auto or on when you grab Poplar, and then you special Poplar. Poplar is going to trigger effects, and Poplar is going to grab from your deck the original Sinful Spells. This is what you need now. This, you can already tell the difference. It's happening. Now we're going into Link 1, which is Link Kuribo here. I'm pretty sure some of you already know what I'm getting at right now. Now you trigger Poplar's effect. It's going to grab from the graveyard itself and put it right here. Now you can activate Snake Eye Ash, send itself and Poplar to the graveyard, and special summon. Hopefully you don't get Ash there, by the way. Special summon Oak, and Oak is going to bring back the Ash or the Poplar, whichever one. It doesn't matter anymore at this point. And now you're going to trigger the Oak. Oak is going to send the Link Kuribo to the graveyard and special summon the Snake Eyes Flamebridge. Now you could do this rotation in a different way as well, but I just like this method. And Flamebridge is going to put in the back row an Oak. And now you're going to use these 2 and go into a Masquerena here. This is going to trigger Flamebridge, and Flamebridge is going to bring back these 2 cards. Now you can activate the original Sinful and send the Oak to the graveyard and special summon the Power Patron. Now you can use the Power Patron, and yeah, it's yummy. Granted, I have barely played this version. I have barely played it at all, so bear with me. I might take a little while getting everything right. So Power Patron is going to add, Copsy Yummy is also going to add. You could chain block it regardless. This is all with 1 Ash, by the way. We still have our full starters in our hand. So we'll grab a Copsy right here, and I wanted to grab a cookie for the opponent's turn, depending on what you want. This could be a disruption in the opponent's turn, but I will just, instead of that, grab the marshmallow. You know what? I probably will still grab this. I'll give up on the cookie. I will give up on the marshmallow rather. So grab these 2, and then with discard, I'll still discard the cookie. And this grab from our deck to our hand, we can grab a Lucina right now if we want to. So I'm just gonna grab that, pretending that the Lucina is not in our hand. All of these are not in our hand except 1, 2 stuffs right here. So now we can special summon the cookie. Activate the cookie's effect. This is going to grab from our deck to our hand the surprise, and now we can use all of this here and go into a sprite elf. So we'll use these 2 right here. Now we can trigger elf, and elf can bring back this one. Don't worry, it will be useful very soon. The Lucina play, so Lucina will special summon Lucina right here. Activate Lucina's effects. Lucina is going to grab from our deck to our hand. Of course, we can grab the Tinia, pretending we didn't have this in our hand already. And now you are going to go with all of this right here into 1, 2, 3. There we go, we have a fancy ball. Pretty crazy. And we can finally use this one and go into the link one, Snatchy. Snatch is going to put a field spell. It's a freaking slop deck. It's just the usual plays. You've already breached into it long ago. Why am I still doing this? It's just dumb that you can pretty much do all of this. I just find it absolutely ridiculous you can do all of this. Anyway, I didn't want to put this there, but I already did, so we're gonna do all of this. Special summon right here, a Lollipop. And we can use the Lollipop's effect to bring back two of this. One here, one here. And now this is just stupid. There we go, we have a Herald of the Arclight. We special summon the Tinia we added, and we can use Tinia's ability here to put this right here. We can also then use this. We're not using from hand anymore, so we can triple this still and special summon. The funny part is the fact that we could have tributed this and gone into Mitsurugi plays. It just tickles me in a funny way. Anyway, we special summon Regina, activate Regina's effect. She brings out Fortuna. Fortuna grabs the trap. And then again, we can't use from hand, so it has to be from the field. And we bring back the Power Patron. And the Power Patron is gonna bring the Seraphim. We're gonna make the Seraphim now. And we're gonna trigger the Regina to add back to our hand. Next, we can activate Regina again. Send this to the graveyard. Special summon Regina. Activate the Seraphim. Seraphim is going to bring back the Power Patron again, because what would you know, we haven't activated its ability at all. And now we can go into a Baron the Floor. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good that this, it's pretty crazy that this can happen. Oh my gosh, my freaking goodness. Anyway, especially about the Baron the Floor. And there you have it. So this is our M board right here. We can do a lot with this. Granted, we lost out on the Yummy Surprises disruption because I didn't grab a marshmallow. Instead, I grabbed a cookie. So it's still pretty okay. But this is all with one card combo. If you look right here, we started with everything we started with is still in our hand. Lucina is still in our hand. Tinia is still in our hand. Ash is still in our hand. The Welcome is still in our hand. This is what one Snake Eye Ash can do. We even have an extra card still in our hand. So that's 7 disruptions right there. We do have Surprise to bring back the Yummy card, which will bring back any of the Yummy Synchro right here. And then they can special summon the Snatchy and the Cookie. The Cookie can then pop a card on the field, that's 8 disruptions, and then you can go into the Cookie Yummy way, that's 9 disruptions to flip cards your opponent controls face down. So that's a total of 9 disruptions on this board here with one Snake Eye Ash. Every single thing you're seeing here was made possible with one single Snake Eye Ash as your starter. So I'm gonna start the combo. Of course, you already know that the bridge is Zombie Vampire for this one. Pretty common, but you do have to gamble with this. Let me know if there's any other way you can, do this as well aside from Zombie Vampire. I would really appreciate it. Anyway, you activate the goal and put itself in the back row, and then special summons itself to grab the field spell. This is, I should have mentioned, a 2-card combo because the field spell requires another monster in hand. So it is a 2-card combo for this. But the reason I love this deck so much is that it baits everything from an Ash to a Draw to an Imperm to an Impulse to a Nibiru. It baits every single thing you can think of. And yeah, also the bad side has added to that, not just good sides by the way. The bad side is we're gonna grab this one. You play badly into Maxi. It's not really good into Maxi. That's the bad side. To activate that, put it there, and then we go into a Doomed Dragon rather, not a Zombie Vampire, a Doomed Dragon. And with the Doomed Dragon and the Sangejin, you can go into a Zombie Vampire. And why I love this as well is even if you mill the Power Patreon card, you already have a level 6, so you can just actually use this level 6 to and the Power Patreon card to go into what you want. Or if you're playing more like me. Oh, speak of the devil, we milled the freaking power Patreon card. How crazy is that? We actually milled the power Patreon card. I can't freaking believe this. Anyway, so right now I could summon the power Patreon card and, you know, just go Elfnote Plays, which is still pretty cool because I haven't normal summoned at all. But you know, instead of that, we also milled the Fortuna. Are you freaking kidding me right now? That's crazy. We milled both of them. Oh, freaking hell, our one-ups. Anyway, we special summon this back. That's just insane. I wanted to play further into this because this is not just Millennium, this is Millennium Fiendsmith and stuff, but I guess I have to improvise a little. Anyway, that's how you do bridge the what you call it, Millennium cards that can bridge into the Elfnote cards through Zombie Vampire. So that's the main part of it all. I'm gonna grab a Lucina right now. I think we should still be able to do pretty well with this. Lucina is gonna trigger, and then we can grab a Tinia. There we go. And now we can use these two and go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. And we can just go Fiendsmith Plays from here, which is pretty cool actually. Even through all of this, we will still have a decent end board, but this just shows you some of the crazy things that can happen when doing all of these bridges and stuff and playing garnets in your deck and things like that. Luckily we did have the trap card in hand. Can you imagine if it milled the trap card? That would have been absolutely horrendous. So I'm gonna special summon the Engraver from the graveyard, returning back the moon, and put it right here. This is basically just normal Fiendsmith Plays, so I mean you already know what's going to happen. And we go into sequence. We activate sequence's effect, and we're going to shuffle back this and this. And there you have a Lacrima, and Lacrima is going to target Engraver, special summon it sadly because we've already used its graveyard effect to summon itself. And now we can go into a Caesar or Kaiser, however you pronounce it. There you go, you have your Caesar right there. And so now we're going to lock ourselves into all of this. I'm going to activate this one and bring back from the graveyard the Fortuna, because for some reason we just of course milled the Fortuna and the power Patreon. So crazy, man. Now we're going to activate this and put it here. And now we can, I think I can special summon with this one right now. Yeah, I'm going to special summon this one. And then we can activate Tinia's effect. And Tinia can put this right here. And now we can use this. And we can send this to the graveyard. And special back the power Patreon. And we can keep going further. And we have a Baron right here. Of course, we can then welcome, send this to the graveyard, and special summon the Regina from our deck, and Regina can trigger and bring out Lucina. Alright, so there you have it. This will be your end board with the Millennium combo. Not necessarily like this. I did have to, you know, maneuver around a little more. Normally you will have a Masquerena in your end board if you don't mill all your one-offs like I did, the Fortuna and the freaking power Patreon. That's so crazy. But anyway, you will still, so that's 2 disruptions we are missing out. So this is 6 disruptions minimum, not counting hand traps, of course. 6 disruptions. Pretty crazy, pretty good, baiting a lot of things. And yeah, that's your bridge. Your final bridge is Zombie Vampire. There will be more bridges probably later, so let me know if you guys want me to make more videos about various bridges and stuff you can use for this deck, or maybe other decks that you have in mind. Please drop them down in the comment section. I read all of them. I'll respond to you if needed, or make a video if necessary. Now for the deck list for every single one of these decks. Let's jump right into it. So this is the first deck list. It's a 43 card deck list, and the bridge for this, of course, is yugioh, and this is the K9 Elfnote deck list. So I'm going to be highlighting every single one of the monsters so you can see, while I also talk about and show you some of the things you can remove and add. So for the first deck list, which is this one, What you will want to remove, if there's anything you want to remove, is you can change or remove the ghost bells. They're pretty good, but you could remove them completely or just put in Purulias or whatever other hand traps like a Vela or so you want to. But they are still pretty good against decks like Sky Strikers and all those other kind of decks. Still pretty okay, but you can remove that. Maybe you just want a lesser deck count. Now in the extra deck, all of these are pretty great. I don't really think there's anything you can change here. I was thinking of putting a back-to-back in this, but that would require us playing a Krokorok. I was thinking of playing an Adamancipator, which is this card, against Elfnote, or rather against Sky Strikers, because Sky Strikers are pretty annoying so far. But I don't know if I should add this all for just one deck. So this is the Canaan Elfnote deck. Let's jump on to the next one. So this is the second deck list. It's Snake Eyes Elfnote. Pretty amazing, and it's pretty fun actually. I'm not gonna lie, this deck list is pretty cool. The only issue is it sucks into Fuwalos or Maxi and stuff, but if you can play without, you know, getting hit with any of that, it's pretty cool. Now in the extra deck you do have all of this, and I still pretty find all of them pretty cool. I don't really think there's anything I would want to remove from this. Maybe I might want to change from Mech Knights to something else, but overall I still think it's pretty cool and pretty fun to play this version. Granted, your synchros are not that crazy, but you're not really like, you have all of these to fall back on. Now if there's anything you want to remove, I'm thinking maybe we might want to remove the Sylvie for something else, mainly because your end board doesn't always consist of Sylvie. You can't just make her immediately to protect yourself from Nibiru, but this deck can play Baron instantly. You can also make an instant Baron to protect from Nibiru. So Sylvie is the only thing I'm thinking of removing. I will say you can remove if you want to remove anything from the extra deck, but I'm pretty sure there are other things, you know, you guys can cook pretty cool stuff as well. So this is the deck list for Snake Eyes Elfnote, and yeah, let's move on to the next one. Also, if you remove Sylvie, let me advise you can add is it Linkuribo? I think this is the spelling. You could add a Linkuribo if you remove Sylvie. Just a heads up, it's pretty cool as well, but it's better in the next deck list. Next is the highest deck list that we have. It's Elfnote Yomi, and it's a pretty amazing deck. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty fun. If you notice, we are not playing the Lolipo. We are not playing the Lolipo in this version. This was done knowingly. Lolipo doesn't, I don't really view it that much. I view it as the least strong Yomi card, although it's still pretty good against some graveyard decks and stuff. And one thing I will advise, if you want to add anything in the main deck, is if you go over here, you will want to add probably a Bonfire. It's pretty great for the Snake Eyes card because you can just add an Ash. Here I'm playing 1-for-1, but that's a discard for 1. But you know, you could still add Bonfire. Figure out what you want to remove, add Bonfire. Pretty crazy regardless. Now in the extra deck, all of these are pretty great, and I find myself being able to summon everything from this extra deck. No joke. Literally, my extra deck can be left with just 3 cards if I do full combo, which is kind of crazy by the way. But you know, this one I don't always summon this one, but out of all the decks so far, I think this is the particular deck I can summon this. Anyway, if you want to change anything in this deck list, I would advise that you can remove Sylvia, and you can then grab the Dark Magician of Destruction. So you can grab a Dark Magician of Destruction, but you know, that's gonna lead to you wanting to add Dragoon and stuff, and the deck is way too tight for Dragoon. What are you gonna remove here? I absolutely don't know. Maybe the Herald of the Arclight for a Dragoon. That might be pretty cool still, but my reason for saying that is because you can make a very easy Baron as well by using this level 8 and the level 2 of the Yomi cards if you want to. But you can still use Flame Bridge for that, or you can use the Snake Eyes Diabellstar if you did open up with the Field Spell and, you know, an Ash or the Field Spell and a Poplar. It's still pretty great that you can do all of that. Anyway, that's all my addition for this deck. Let's move on to the next one. This is the final deck list. It's a 41 card deck list. This is Millennium Elfnote. We do have all the Fiendsmith cards as well, and again, I'm playing 3 golems because why not? It's a crazy starter, crazy good starter. I'm only playing 2 Sangenchins because I don't have enough URs for it. I only have 2 URs, 1 Field Spell because, like I said, it's not the great starter in the Millennium deck. You do want the monsters over the Field Spell most times. Now, what I would advise if you want to change anything is you will want to play Droplet most times. just because the Millennium fills your deck with a lot of, board presence, so you can discard them to negate your opponent's entire board if they do not negate the Millennium, because most people will not waste their negate on Millennium cards. That's one thing I thought about that. But you're going to be giving up on your going second plays, the hand traps, because you won't have imperm again. Instead of that, you will be going, like, your go second will be stronger with the board breaker and stuff. Also, if you do get, Maxid and stuff, you can just set your droplet and pass with enough bodies on field for you to negate a boatload of cards, just in case. And in the extra deck, we do have the usual things. And the Amethyst Bridge into Fiendsmith, and this is literally just, your usual stuff. The difference is you do have Zombie Vampire here, and the best part is Millennium is your best starter. Millennium into Fiendsmith, also into the Elfnote. It's just insane. Let me know if there's any other, like, bridge that I missed, and if you would like to see another bridge. This is everything for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or requests, please drop them down there in the comment section. I'll read all of them. I'll respond to you if needed, or make a video if necessary. Take it easy again. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna go now. Bye bye.